Well, Lance, Tammy was on good behavior other than when she was in my car.
Right?
Oh,
It's my fault.
No, I thought that was kind of funny though. That was pretty cool.
we were doing. Joan, you save your voice, honey. You doing okay? We love you. Just know we're praying for you and we love you.
Absolutely.
So save your voice. Text me if you text in the chat if you want to ask a question or you need anything. You text in a thing and Lance will follow up with it. Okay. So Lance keep heads up on Facebook. I've got Zoom over here. So we want everybody to jump in, fill us in. We are trying to get everything back on track and going. We're trying to get everything back and up and moving. We're trying to get support group back and going. This is going to be my first full week back to work, and I'm going to try to make everything work. So a little bit at a time. If I'm missing anything, please text me, because God knows my brain on drugs is not a good thing. So, and we're out of ketosis and not feeling good. So we are trying to get everything back on track. And that's exactly what we want to talk about tonight. Is we want to show you, this is how we get our chemistry set and get back on track, because I will promise you the way we feel right now is not how we normally feel when we're in our routine. And if we've learned anything from my issue, my heart attack, whatever the heck you want to call it, from that whole time frame a month ago, it literally is just, we feel so good when we are in that routine. We know we're hitting our fasting numbers. We know we're hitting those Dr. Boz ratios. We just feel best there. If you don't have to go to that level with us, more power to you, and we'll help you every step of the way. But most of us that we find in our group, and most of you that I've coached personally, know our chemistry just needs that extra push, and we need to get over those humps and make our chemistry do it. Right now, I am pulling every tool out of the toolbox that I can to get me back on track, because my body fights me. Hey, Bob. Hey, Baba. Sorry, love you. Good to see you. That's my baby brother, so good to see you.
Back on track.
Back on track. Sorry, squirrel. But I'm using every tool in the toolbox right now. So I want any of you that need that help to get back on track, to get your numbers back going, get your chemistry back on track, please jump in and join us this week. That is exactly what we are going to be doing. And I don't normally use the BHB. I don't normally do that. I try to force my body to do the chemistry and make those steps myself, and my body do it. I am not doing it right now. So I am pulling every tool out of my toolbox. Any of you in my class know that we talk about building your toolbox. Build those tools. Have your toolbox ready for when you need it and when your body needs it. And I will promise you right now, my body needs that help.
And one thing is, it's not if, it's when it happens. When life comes up and smacks you in the face, knocks you down, so you have to get back up. You need to dig into that toolbox, and you need to have some good tools ready to do that.
And that's exactly why we build that toolbox, to have it ready. Don't wait until you're crashing and burning to get it. Have the tools in your drawer, so when you hit that time, you can apply it. So that being said, what I am doing, I am literally sipping on BHB all darn day right now. This isn't perfect. I am starting my fasting window like I normally would on my Sunday. We usually fast Sunday to Wednesday. That's our normal fasting window. I know my chemistry is not great. I know I probably won't make it to the 72 this time, but I'm got my fats going. I'm trying to get everything ready. I am going to get through this fast sipping on my BHB. Not perfect, not the way I want to force my body to do it, but I'm going to need help this week. So that's one of my tools. Next tool is I am taking my MCT. Again, it's not going to be a clean, perfect fast this week. I'm considering this fast kind of my prep. This is my prep for what I'm going to get hit next week. So this week, I'm kind of pretending my body way through it, helping my body through it. If I need the bone broth, I will use my healthy homemade bone broth. If I need it, I'm going to push as hard as I can to be comfortable and get my chemistry going. And I know by the second day of the fast, I will know how my body feels, and I will know how long, if I'll make it to the 72 or not. I'm going to listen to my body. If I can't make it, I'll kick out at 48, and that's okay. And that will be my step for this week. But the week in between, as I start eating again, we will prep and stay on track and be back to our 1 meal a day, pretty much ketovore. We're pretty much proteins and fats is is our go-to. And we'll add a little bit of cheese and stuff in there once in a while. Nothing drastic, but we don't venture too far off the rails on that. That is just our normal, and that will get us into next week. So this week moving forward, we are going to take it easy, trying to fast, not a clean fast. Again, don't hear me thinking I know this is not a true fast. This is me trying to get my body prepped and ready. So this is just doing the best I can do this week and letting my body kick in and do it.
Sounds good. Julie Brown on Facebook had a question. She said, tell me what's in the toolbox.
What's in the
So I
toolbox?
said we would show a couple things, but there's a lot of things that you can put in there.
BHB and Dr. Boz's products are the ones that if I'm going to use a tool, I usually always try to use hers if she has one available, because she knows what it does to our numbers, and she will know what it does to our body. And I'm not saying there's no other good ones out there. I'm just saying I trust hers, and these are the ones that help me stay on track the best I can. That being said, this one does have a little bit of stevia in it. This will jack my numbers up. Some of us have to have the capsules with no stevia in it. Now, if I was back on track and everything like that, I don't sip on the ones with stevia in them, because they will jack my numbers up. I am that sensitive. But I know that because I can track my numbers, my body, and figure out how my body reacts to everything. I know the stevia in these will jack me up. So it's a tool. It's a stepping stone right now. So the BHB is the big thing in my toolbox. Next thing in my toolbox is the MCT oil. And again, these are Dr. Boz's, because I know there is nothing else in them besides the C8, C10. And I know there's no fillers, no crap in them. And I use these MCT capsules. Other things in our toolbox, Epsom salt. I use a lot of Epsom salt in my baths. I need that magnesium float. I need to get all that stuff up, because I get Charlie horses like you wouldn't believe as soon as I fall back on anything. Everything in my toolbox is my salt. This is Redmond's Real Rocks, real salt. And this is always in my toolbox. These lay around in my house like geodes for decoration, because I literally use them all the time. There's rocks, I suck on them. They keep your minerals up. They keep you feeling better. I get the heart palpitations if I get dehydrated and let my minerals down. I cannot take the heart issues right now. So I make sure I am getting my sodium up. I am sucking on my rocks every chance I get. Salt's in my water. I don't like it in my water, but I can salt the dickens out of my food more. That salt has to keep coming in. You have to keep replenishing that salt. So that's another thing in my toolbox. What else is in our toolbox that we use?
Some good, that's in our, the normal toolbox would be like the avocado oil and the big oils, getting them back into the diet. Avocado, olive oil, coconut oil, that
The
kind of
good
thing.
butters, things like
Good
that.
butter again. I mean, we're going back through and
Which
getting
is
it
a
on.
type 1 diabetic. So stevia does it to me too. Yes. Stevia is a culprit on all of it. If you want to run out in the drawer, there's the bottle of BHB or
Bottle of BHB.
yes, that are the capsules.
Mhm.
I'll show you. Dr. Boz has a capsule. Her husband is allergic to stevia. So she actually made a capsule that he can take with the BHB in it. And he can take that in and with no stevia in it, so it won't mess him up. I have to do the same thing, because normally once I'm on track, that stevia will mess me up, Julie. So yeah, so her BHB in the capsule, it would be a good thing for you. Here we go. It is just her BHB in a capsule, and you just take them in, and it's just another good tool to have. So you can get that BHB up. And what that's going to do, that's going to help your body get used to using a new fuel, it's going to help you with the brain clarity, all of that. And again, that is just a stepping stool. It is just a tool that we will use for a little bit, because eventually I want to teach my body to make the ketones. I do not want to be drinking them all the time or putting them in after my body is doing it. So I'm at that point health-wise that I am trying to stress every cell in my body to be as healthy as I can get it to be. And I want my body to do the work. So that is why we only use the BHB and stuff like that for a tool, because I want to push my body to that healing level. You may not need to, depending on what your goals are and what you're trying to do. That is just where we personally do, because we want the best cellular health we can get and have all the tools helping us get there. And so that is why we go a little bit stricter. We go a little bit deeper in. And once we're on track, it's game on, 1 meal a day. And we do not use these because we make our body do the work. And that's kind of what we do. Hello, Miss Vicky. It's good to see you, Mama. Love ya. Good to see you, sweetie. So that is what we're basically up to this week. We are just prepping, getting our bodies prepped and ready. We're going to make sure we hit our fat goals. We're going to make sure we're not too far over on protein. We're going to go back to using chronometer. I know we all hate tracking and doing it, but it really is the key to figuring out where you're at. Use your chronometer, make sure you're not too far over on protein, make sure you're reaching those fat goals, because again, you got to remember this is a fat-based diet. There's a million ways to do keto, but Dr. Ba's way is you've got to get those fats in you. You've got to get those fat-based hormones happy first. And I am one of those. As soon as I slack off of my fat, my body just slows down and quits making the ketones and gives me heartache and headache. And it's just all of it that I've got to stay on track. I have got to get my chemistry back going to feel right. And I will tell you, being out of ketosis, and we've not done anything crazy. Well, I take that back. Today we went a little crazy because we knew we were getting on track today. We went to a family gathering and we indulged, and we know it's going to be a rough fast. It's going to be hard to do. But before that, even when we say we're off track, that's still, all that means is we opened our eating window up 2 meals a day, things like that. We still are pretty much a carnivore. We still don't go off the rails and eat crazy. It is just, we opened our window up, and how much that changes everything. And we were eating too late. When I was down in Florida, I was eating too late. When I was in the hospital, we were eating too late. Just we didn't have the control of those 12 steps of keto continuum, of the eating window, of what time foods went in, what we had access to. I know everybody that was in Florida, you were just limited on what you had access to. So we had our window opened up. We're eating a little bit more hours a day, eating things I didn't have as much control over. Then now we're starting to close that back up. We're closing our window back up. We're going to get back on track for us. But again, figure out what your goals are. You may not need to be as strict as we are, but if you want to jump in with us, we're getting ready to rock and roll it again and get back to it, because we miss that feeling. I miss feeling that energy. I miss feeling that clarity in our brain, just everything.
Yeah, right.
We miss it. We really truly miss it. The things we get done in our house, everything, you just feel it all.
Just that normalization of where we set ourselves up to be, and then we're not there anymore. So, I mean, when life kicks in and you set you back a couple steps, where you want to be, and that's where we want to be. So we got to get back to where we need to be.
Yeah. And that's where
if you can all understand that kind of B language.
And that's where we know where our bodies heal at. That is where we feel best. That is where we know we are making a difference and a change in our body chemistry. When we're stressing that mitochondria, and it's not a pound thing. It's, would I love to lose another 40 pounds? Absolutely. But I am more worried about healing my heart damage. I'm more worried about healing, reversing the prediabetes. I'm more worried about the neuropathy in my feet. I'm more worried about all of those major issues that I don't want to go backwards. So I need to get this ball rolling in the right direction again.
And too, like for me, it's the weight isn't it either. It's more the inflammation, the more the sore joints, that kind of thing that I miss, that, I'm starting to get sore again. And it's like, wait a minute, I need to get back on track so I'm not as sore. So I have that energy back again. And it's not about the weight. It's more about how I feel.
Yeah, he's at his junior high weight, so he's not even worried about
weight.
I'm
a little bit up now. I'm a little bit up now.
He's up to high school weight now.
Right, exactly.
So needless to say, this week coming up, anybody that wants in, I'm going to be starting another class. I figure anybody that wants to go through it with us can jump in and go through class with me. If you want one-on-one coaching times, I am going to be limited on how many spots I take this time, just because I've got to get in cardiac rehab and all those and doctor checkups and all the stuff for the next few weeks. It's just chaos. So anybody that's wanting in, please text me and I'll make sure. Those of you that I've already talked to, I haven't got invoices or anything sent out yet. So if you want in, just let me know. I will work on all that this week as I can get to it. What else? A couple of things.
When we're going to go all in. This is another shot where we're going all in, full tilt.
So the cool part of that is we're not just going to teach you the class this time through. We're going to do it with you.
Yep.
We are going to be building our chemistry just the same as you guys are. We are going to be getting those fats right, getting chronometer set up correctly, using chronometer, because even us veterans that have done it for how many years, you slack off, you get lazy, you forget to put things in. And it's like, I got this. We eat the same thing over and over. And you realize, you know what? No, we don't got this. We need to back up to slow down,
Need to rinse and repeat.
rinse and repeat and do it right this time. So we're all in this together. So I guess it's where just let us know what we can do. Couple exciting things I do want to throw out before we all start sharing. I am going to be promoting and sharing a link on the group page for Keto Mojo. Cool part of this is I know so many of us, and I'm one of them too. I have a FloraCare and I love that it has my Dr. Boz ratio and all of that. But the cool part with the Keto Mojo is anybody that gets the one with the Bluetooth in it. I will post all of this up. I can now have a patient portal where, as your coach, every time you read your number, every time you check your numbers, it will come into the back end of my patient portal. So I will get your information every time you test your blood. So it's just a really neat tool that I can use as a coach to be able to help you more. So we can set goals. I can watch where you're at.
And not to be nosy, but that way she just has the information of where you're at and what she needs to do to help you.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those things, it cuts the BS. There is no way around it. When we both know where you're at, sometimes, even us, we still say, oh, I thought it was only this many carbs, or I thought it was that. It's like, now you're going to learn exactly what it does to your chemistry. Just like talking about the stevia, some people can do the stevia and the BHB and they're fine and it doesn't mess them up. I'm not one of them. And I know that by checking my numbers. And that's what the cool part with that patient portal, we will be able to see that and know exactly what affects you and affects your numbers. So that's going to be a thing. We'll be posting a lot of this stuff this week coming. So that's a lot of the homework that'll be coming up. So I don't mean to blow the page up. But
And if you do have a FloraCare meter, it's the GK Plus. It says it right here on the screen, right above the button. It's the GK Plus model, just in case anybody already has it.
If you have an old one, they have a recycle program that you can send in your old one and get a little bit of credit for it to get the new one that will do all the Bluetooth stuff for you. So it's one of those things. Reach out. Any of my new coaching clients coming in that has this are going to get a free consult from me so we could get on and set the patient portal up together and get you in there so we can both see how it works, because I'm learning it as we go too. So this company has been great setting things up and helping me move forward in this. So they're great teachers. They're helping me a lot. And I will post this week. Anybody that wants to do that for the next one.
When you go on the link, I think it runs like $78.
Yes.
If you jump on her link and her affiliate link, it's like $78 plus shipping. And that gets you a whole big giant promotional bundle. So it's actually a pretty good deal. And I think I can't remember what the strips cost.
The strips were coming out, I think $70 for both. And it's 60 or 70 of the keto of the strips instead of the 50 like we get in the FloraCare. So it was like 10 extra, but it was like $20 cheaper.
Yeah, there's a little bit price difference there for us. So
again, if you have the FloraCare and that's working perfectly fine, this isn't anything you have to do. Just
Correct.
Please know if you're going to replace it or if you want that extra help back in the patient portal part with me for coaching, we're going to have that available for you. Okay.
just one of those other tools.
A couple things I want to say is from Florida and Texas, we met some amazing people, and Judith and Erica, they're the two girls that put on the Florida one. If anybody has access and the inkling to go next year, Alex, I know you were there. This one was so good. And it was just one of them. It was such a family. You left there feeling like family with everybody that was there. Even the speakers, the doctor, Dr. Barry was there, Dr. Boz was there, Ben Azadi, Watch Out in Keto, Jonathan Shane. These kids are amazing. Abby Scott, she's just a mama after my heart. I can't wait to get in contact with her. But we left feeling like family, and you left feeling like it was worth every darn penny, time, whatever. For next year, if you can start planning and saving now, I highly, highly recommend Florida and the Keto Orlando Summit. So anybody that can do that, think about it, plan it now. I would love to take our own tribe and just meet up down there next time. What else? Anything else right now? Okay, I think that's all of my announcements for right now. Let's check in with you guys. Let's see how I can help you. Who's on board? Who's wanting to get back into fasting with us? And who's just ready to maybe get the ball rolling? Maybe you don't even want to go to fasting. Maybe you just want to get back on track and get your chemistry going. Jill, I know you were struggling a little bit. Dory, everybody's had some major stressors happening. So let's just jump in. Give me a win, give me a struggle, and tell me what your goal is for the week. Who wants to jump in?
Crickets.
Crickets. Come on, guys.
Oh.
Go ahead, Miss Vicky. Hang on, gotta unmute.
Unmute.
There you
Okay.
go.
All
There
right.
she
Hey
is.
guys,
Hello, beautiful.
Hi.
you talked about the Keto Mojo real quick, and then I'm going to give a win and a challenge. So if I want to order Keto Mojo and I want to order it through you, where do I go?
I am going to put the link on the group page here. I'll try to get it done tonight. If not, I'll put it out first thing tomorrow morning, or I'll just send it to you in a text. How's that?
Okay.
That's
So it'll be, did you finish your website?
It's a work in progress.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
close.
That's all right. That's okay. We've had a few interruptions.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's
Interruptions.
interruptions. That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
So a win. I got really off, and I will just put it out there. I'm going to be off this week. We're in Panama for stem cell therapy.
Oh, wow.
We made it. We made it. We
Good.
You got on the plane this time.
got on the plane this time.
Good.
And you know, we're eating in the hotel.
Absolutely.
And I forgot to bring my sardines. But anyway,
Totally
so
cool with that
okay,
one.
so we're gonna just take we'll do the best we can. I'll put it that way.
There you
Okay.
go. That's a
Absolutely.
win right there. Do the
We'll
best
do
you
the
can.
best we can and stay as low carb as we can.
Yep. Is Bill doing well? Is he able to,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just know.
He is he's not on the wagon. He's got we need to reassess you need to call Bill.
Okay. We will get him in for a consult this week.
He's sitting over there in the chair. We've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, so he's
Oh, you
fast
poor thing.
asleep in the
We love you,
chair.
Papa Bill, and I'm going to be on you. You're not going to be eating that blue cheese at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
Bam.
that's just one issue.
Seriously, you guys
But
do what you're going to do this
let
week.
me give you so that's a challenge. This week is going to be very challenging, but you know what? Here is the thing that I have discovered about the keto carnivore lifestyle is how easy it is to get back on the wagon. It's easy.
It is.
It's just
Eat the meat and add the fat.
eat the meat, add the fat. And Lance and I have the same challenge with fat. He's lost, now he may gain a little weight,
A little
but
bit.
he'd lost I lost way too much weight, but it wasn't just about the keto diet. It was about some health things that were going on. But I have gained 3 pounds since you saw me. So I am doing great.
Good.
So that's a balancing, that's a challenge, but that is a balancing act. And I find that if I stick to chronometer, which I'll be honest with anybody who's listening, I hate it.
We all hate it. We all
I
hate it.
hate it. I hate it. I am not a regimented person. I like doing things spontaneously. You cannot be spontaneous if you're going to use chronometer. Ah.
No.
But when I do use chronometer for at least a week at a time, and then you fall off a little bit and then it's like, okay, I got to do it again.
Yep.
It's that for me and for Lance, I think, I don't mean to put words in your mouth.
No, you go right ahead. Wait till I'll
But
wait till
it
you say it.
is, Dr. Boz says, don't worry about the protein, just just keep your carbs low. So I was doing that. And for me, it's always the protein gets a little high. But I didn't even look at the line that says fats. I absolutely didn't. And when you talked about doing that, I looked. I was only eating a fourth to a third of the grams of fat I should have been eating.
Yep.
And that's why I was losing weight.
Okay, so that's a really good teaching moment in that. That is one thing we all have to keep in mind. This is a fat-based diet. So the fat, you have to hit those fat goals every time on that chronometer.
Yeah.
Because right now, even Miss Vicky that is so tiny, or Lance that really doesn't have a whole lot of weight left to lose, your body will level out in that, but we still have to. There's different ways of teaching keto. And right now, those of us that have the weight to still lose, we have to unlock that cell and let that fat come out of that cell and be used. We teach our body to do that by ingesting the fat right now. Later on, those macros can change a little bit. And once you hit a stall and once that's not working, then we reevaluate, but you have to hit those fats. For people like Lance and Vicky that don't want to lose a whole lot more weight, that's how you learn to juggle that. You're going to learn to juggle that fat ratio and keeping those fats up so that you're not burning more body fat. So it's those kind of things that you're going to learn to juggle that. But those are the things you will build on as you learn your chemistry through the 12 steps of the program, because you have to build that chemistry one step at a time to do keto the way Dr. Boz teaches it. There's other ways to do keto. This is not the only way, but this is where we get that cellular health turnover and change, is by building it one step at a time with that chemistry. So that's what makes us different. That's what keeps us going. And that's what makes us stay on track, or want to stay on track, even when we don't.
I will add one thing, because I've seen in several of the Facebook groups, people saying, but I don't know how do I get the fat up? And I picked this up from you or from Lance, I don't remember, but I've got from a long time ago, I've got a shot glass.
Yep.
And it's got a half an ounce and 1 ounce.
Yep.
And I think 1 ounce and a half and 2 ounces, whatever. I keep real high quality extra virgin olive oil on the kitchen counter. And every day that I can remember, I take a shot, an ounce of EVOO. And what I have found is when I do that, I don't have to eat as much protein. And I think that I'm one that the extra protein throws me out of ketosis. It definitely raises my glucose.
Yeah.
So
that higher protein will also cause issues. I know we were talking to Tim today at church, and his arthritis and stuff coming back. When that protein gets too high, you start feeling that inflammation again. You start feeling all those problems coming back. So you got to watch that protein. So the fat is again the answer. And I think that's just a good teaching moment, is the fat is where it's at. As much as we all hate it, I think it does help, just like you said, to have that measuring cup and get the visual of how much fat your body actually needs. Look at chronometer, look it up in grams, convert that over into ounces, and look how many ounces you need for your chemistry. And most of the time, it's a heck of a lot more fat than most of us are ingesting.
And
I'm going to add one more thing, and then I'm going to shut up. So I got the strips, the 4 care strips for uric acid.
Mhm.
And now I'm not remembering. I think is it 5? I know 5 is the number for HbA1c. I don't remember the number for uric acid, but whatever it was, mine was way over. Mine was 7.5.
Yeah, I think it's still.
I think it is around 5.
I think it's around 5.
I think it's around 5.
Yeah.
I'm not positive what that number is either. I'll have to look.
I saw my doctor Tuesday. Was this Sunday? Yeah. Is this still Sunday?
Yes, ma'am.
And I showed him that and he was like, whoa, are you having gout issues? And I said, no, I'm not. But he said, you've got to get your uric acid down. Well, that's from eating so much protein. I eat a heck of a lot of protein.
Yep.
So that's all.
That fat will help you with that, because if you get the
Right.
fats up there, then you don't have the room and you don't
Right.
want as much protein.
And one thing I want to say too, somebody in the Facebook group asked how you can chase all that oil down. We're only saying that oil is because that's a really high fat liquid that you can do. Some people like me, I can drink avocado oil. It's not a problem. Other people can't. You can put that oil on something, use something as, a small protein as a fat carrier to get that fat in. Any chance you can do that. If you do the sardines, put a little bit of, avocado oil or olive oil on them. Use that. It's just basically to show you how much fat you actually need, so you can break it down and physically see that, hey, it's this much.
Having that
It's
visual.
more than you think. Because I mean, at one point with my chronometer, I know I've gone over this with a lot of people, probably on here too. My chronometer set up right now to where I want to be and what I'm going to get back on is a 3-to-1 ratio. I need 3 times as much fat to 1 time as much protein. So for every 1 gram of protein, I need to have 3 grams of fat on top of that. I think my number on fat is 270 grams per day.
Yeah.
And my protein is only 77. So I can have 77 grams of protein and I have 270 grams of fat. That shows you right there how much fat you need to ingest. And that's just to stay at my goal weight where I want to be. So.
And just know, anything going in your mouth, if you get the mindset, anything that goes in your mouth needs to be a spoon for fat. It doesn't matter if it's meat, cover it in some kind of fat. We were making hollandaise sauce. Hollandaise sauce is a great fat tool. It's just butter and egg yolks. So there's simple things. If you don't literally want the olive oil or the avocado oil and things like that, hollandaise sauces are good. The butter, I've put ranch seasoning in bacon fat before and make like a ranch dip for the pork rinds. There's so many little tricks and little things you can do. Make the bacon grease mayonnaise, put that mayonnaise on top of the sardines, use it as a dip with the pork rinds. You can use any of those things to get those fats in you that some of us that can't literally drink. I have no gallbladder, so I do try to watch and not drink a cup of olive oil a day like he does, but I can do the butter. I can do, I do it in small doses in that meal. I add it a little bit at a time, and it's just, you got to figure out what works for you. And again, it's learning your body, your process, and what works for you.
It's paying attention.
But it's still,
we didn't know the circumstance until I got to that point. I know Jimmy may be at this point. I know Tim Catlett is at this point. You get leaned out so much that you don't have the fat to go get. You have to put it in. Yeah. If you want the energy and you want the ketones, you have to put fat in at some point. Because if you don't, you're going to keep leaning out and leaning out and leaning out till you get to that point where your fat is enough to run on. So if you're getting too lean, that's where you need to increase your fat a little bit, give your body something to run off of. So once you get where you're at, then you have to stay on that fat regimen.
It's just different because God knows all the guys, Jimmy, Tim, and Lance, that have all leaned, and Miss Vicky, that have leaned out in that. It is amazing, not Miss Vicky, but how the men's hormones and how their bodies will kick in so much faster than us women. So it is one of those things.
We'll go great guns and we'll all of a sudden we'll hit the wall. And it's like, wow, where'd the energy go? And it's like, wait a minute, click. It's a fat-based diet. I got to crank up the fats. So
when Lance was coming home and didn't have energy, I knew something was up. But he had lost so much weight since he had first set up chronometer. So that may be something you need to check. If you've lost a lot, make sure you're putting in those numbers and checking again where you're at in chronometer.
Make sure you keep chronometer up to date with your weight as you have it
and your
now
goals.
And your goal weight. Those are important because that helps factor out what your ratios need to be in chronometer. So it's very important to keep things up to date.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to go? Tim, you want to come in next and tell us, since you want to piggyback off of what Bart or Vicky was just saying about the Protein. Tim was another one that went a little high on his protein, and you want to come in, Tim, and start telling him what you was dealing with again.
Yeah, I had a little bit of an issue with the arthritis coming back a little bit. And originally it attacked me in my fingers and hands first. Well, this is where it started to come back 1st of July, end of June. And I had kind of slacked off and I was not keeping track of everything. I was eating more protein and not really carrying on with a lot of fats. So doctors helped me a little bit. I had to do some steroids so I could actually move my hands. And then doctor and I talked, and they're going to try to get me off the everything here going forward. But now that I've kind of figured out what's up, I've added more fat in. My hands are starting to feel better, and hopefully I'll be able to maintain this. And I'm one of those that can't stand the chronometer either. And I hate trying to keep track of all that. And I've been trying to do it all in my head as day by day and as I go, and it's a little tough. So I guess I'm going to have to bite the bullet and start doing that. Now, that being said, I have two great gains or wishes that have actually come true that I never ever dreamt would happen in my lifetime. That I've never had a body BMI since my whole adult life. Ever since I played football, they always packed weight on me. And at 18, I was 200 pounds and my BMI was out of control already starting out at that age. And I hit 308. I was morbidly obese, 172 pounds at my checkup a week and a half ago. And doctor said, well, what do you think? You stopping there? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to leave this thing play out. So I'm going to go with it and see where we end up. And he drew blood, and all my blood, everything on my blood is all in the normal range, everyone you want to name. So everyone that says you can't eat all that fat, it's bad for your cholesterol, it's bad for everything. Proof, have it all in writing. It's not even being on the program for a year. Everything with me and my blood work is excellent. I feel great. A little bit of arthritis setback, but now that I understand where that's coming from, I know how to handle that. So everybody that is skeptical, don't be skeptical. Follow the program and do what you need to do. And if you have aches and pains that you need to get rid of, this is a lifestyle. It's not a diet program. I never dreamt I'd lose, I don't know where I'm at now, 138, 140 pounds, but it's incredible. So thank you, Lance and Tammy.
Hey,
Oh,
you did the work, brother. That's awesome.
You did all the work. We love you guys. You know that.
Kudos to reading your body too.
Yes.
Everything that your body goes through, once you get to your point where you're at, everything, the stuff with your hands, the arthritis, there's a reason, there's a cause, and you tracked it down and you figured it out. Awesome job, brother.
Two things in that I want to point out. Chronometer, the easy way around chronometer, and this is one of the things we don't always recommend right at the beginning, but for the veterans, this is exactly why when you're one meal a day, first of all, think about it. We fast Sunday to Wednesday, no dinner, nothing to track on those days. So it makes fasting a little more enjoyable because you don't have to track.
No tracking.
No chronometer on those 3 days. So we fast Sunday through Wednesday. When we break our fast on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we usually eat the exact same things every week. It's too stupid simple.
It's
it
not
works.
boring.
It's, we have our ribeye is always our woohoo. We made it through the fast. But because our chemistry has shifted and changed again, we don't need as much. We used to get those big, you guys remember seeing those big, huge, thick ribeyes we used to get.
Overboard.
They were overboard at the beginning, but that helped us get over those humps of feeling deprived. Once we got through those, now that ribeye, that feeds us for 2 nights. So we eat half of it, eat it again another night. We'll have some kind of ground beef or something like that when we do it with the kids. We have dinner with the kids one night. We'll do taco salad or sloppy joes or something simple with some ground beef. And we usually go out one night. So it becomes rinse and repeat so easy. And those of us that
sardines on Sunday,
as much as I hate them damn things, but it makes it so much easier and then in chronometer to track it when you're doing the same things over and over. Chronometer will build that library for you. And once you know where your numbers are, you don't have to keep doing it. So it is another goal to get through the keto continuum, stay at that one meal a day. We are not hungry. We don't feel deprived. We eat like kings on the nights that we do eat. And we love it. I have never walked away from that ribeye feeling deprived in any way, shape, or form. Normally we go to family functions and we are fine. We go in, we eat the meat, we add some fat, or we eat a little bit before we go. So we're not starving. Today, I will tell you, we went to a family function and we ate the snack. We ate a couple desserts. We had a little piece of cheesecake. We had a little piece of watermelon and pineapple, those blueberries, a few things that we normally would never touch in a million miles and never even try to get in our numbers, but we knew we're messed up. We knew we're going to enjoy those couple things that we could. Now they're gone. We won't do that again, probably till next summer. So it's one of those things. This isn't a weekly jump off the wagon and back on. This is our lifestyle stays consistent from week to week to week, month to month. Life will happen. There will be times that you're going to kick in. I mean, I wasn't planning on a darn heart attack. I wasn't planning on eating hospital food. It happened. You have to make the best of what you can do. And that's okay. Some of you that are on Facebook have seen my daughter-in-law, the reel and stuff that we put up of my grandkids. If you've seen my kids reading, we're teaching the kids to read the package. How many carbs are in each thing? I brought home bags of stuff from these 2 conferences. We're teaching the kids to get on, just because it says keto on the front, turn it over. The keto numbers on the back are what you need to go by, not just those numbers on the front because it says keto. And my kids are learning. The little ones, the grandkids are learning. I mean, Maddox just keeps saying there's 33 carbs. That doesn't make sense to say it's keto on the front. They're putting those thought processes together. So all of us that are grandparents and parents on here, lead by example. Those kids, you think they're not getting it. They may not always make best choices, and that's okay. But you're going to teach them a different science. You're going to teach them a different way to look at things, that they will know the truth. They will be able to control it. They won't wait till they're pre-diabetic to start doing something about it. They will be able to learn how to do it now. So that's why we're so excited. Any of you that have kids that went in, as we get the website back up and going, we're going to have the Keto Kids Club, so we can help teach our kids to make better choices too. So I know Tim and Kim, everybody's got grandkids in here that we can do. Dory's got little ones. Everybody that has little ones around you. This is how we're going to develop those healthy hippocampuses as their bodies are growing, and we can teach that and be different and let them have a better future than we had. So they're not sitting here at 50, 60, 70 years old trying to reverse all the damage of what they've been fed their whole lives. So good idea, Tim. Good job on figuring out your body. But again, that is the win in it, is you will learn how to read your body. Tim was consistent enough. He knew it had to be the protein. He knew he had to get those fats up and have that protein to get that transition going again, because when you feel those symptoms coming back, you know something else is off. If you're not getting the results you want, it's time to stress that body one more level, one more step down. If you're at 5, 6, 7, 8 in keto continuum and you're getting inflammation back, gaining weight, not reaching your goals, then it's time to push forward. It's time to go into those advanced sections. That's where we live, because first of all, he probably wouldn't have to, but I know that's where I have to stay to get the healing that I want.
I feel best down there. I really do. And where I'm at right now, I'm probably back, keto continuum 5, 6, somewhere in there. I don't feel as good as I do when we're down in the lower range, 10, 11, 12 range. And it just, that's where I like to be. Not because I have to, because I want to.
And that's where we just feel the best. I know eating that one meal a day, when we are that satiated for one meal and full and happy, and you don't worry about food the rest of the darn day, that's a win. I don't care who you are, because you're not in the kitchen, you're spending less, we can put the money into more quality food instead of so much quantity. There's so many wins in it. You're not in the kitchen all the time. Us moms, it's like we're either cooking or cleaning or feeding somebody. The kids walked in the door, I'd start cooking. So they'd walk out the door and I'd turn around, look at my kitchen. It's like, what the hell, kind of thing. Everything's a mess. So it's those things you will learn. You learn to apply that time and energy into your family, into when they walk in the door, you don't have to run to the kitchen and start cooking. You walk in and you see your family, and that's the blessing in it. I mean, it's just a win-win either way. Okay, good job, Tim and Kim. We love you. It's good to see you guys. And I'm so proud of the work you're doing and how you're figuring everything out. Look, Kim just hiding back there. She ain't saying nothing. So, we love you, Mama. All right. Who wants to jump in? Who has a win, a fail? Come on, Sue, jump in.
Okay, I was struggling for a while there. And then I went on vacation and I came back, and just what you guys are talking about, I figured out that I wasn't getting enough fats. I thought I was, I wasn't putting it in chronometer. And then when I started using it, I wasn't getting enough fats. As soon as I add the fats, boom, everything works. A little bit, again, like everybody else, a little bit too much protein, because I was hungry.
Absolutely. But do you find though, if you get those fat macros in first, you don't have room for extra protein.
Oh yeah. I'm not
You
hungry
can't
at
go
all.
over because you're so full.
But my question is, what are some tricks to get that fat in? I've been doing, like putting it in the coffee, but I'm not to the point where I can eat a stick of butter yet. And I can't really, I haven't tried to drink, oil, but what are some ways to like fatten up stuff?
Okay, first I want to stipulate when we are talking ingesting oils. First of all, I want to make sure you hear me and understand completely. These are only good, healthy, pure oils. No canola oil, no vegetable oils, no seed oils, nothing like that are awful, those rancid oils. Okay, so that being said, a little bit we use the bacon grease for so many things. The mayonnaise, I make mayonnaise out of the bacon grease with a raw egg, just like you would real mayonnaise, regular mayonnaise, but instead of using oil in it, we make it with the bacon grease. So that's a huge one. You can use beef tallow, coconut oil, butter, avocado oil,
olive oil,
MCT. Like
MCT
I said,
oil,
I use the MCT capsules when I need to. I don't always, but like right now when I'm just out of whack and I need to get my body jump started again, the MCT oil capsules are going to help the liver learn to make ketones. So all of those being compiled on top of each other, get it in you however you can. Whatever you can get in you, there's not a right or wrong, get them in you, because that's going to get you over that hump and feeling good. Then you can tweak it later. Then you can play with recipes or whatever you want to do, but it's just getting that in you. And while your window is opened up, get those fats in you during that.
And it is tough. It's a tough thing to get, when you start plugging that into chronometer and you find out that, man, I need this much short and you are full and I don't even want no more fat. And that's when you need more fat. I mean, it's a tough game, and it's usually the same thing. That's why at one point I started drinking olive oil. I mean, I could do it. So I would take a 4 teaspoon or tablespoon shot of avocado oil. And at least that gave me, I think it was 50 grams of fat in that 4 tablespoons. So it's about, if I had to, I could do 5 of those and get really close. But, I have my meal. I put as much fat on it as I can. And then if I have to, I'll take a shot of that afterwards, to get as much fat as I can. Do I hit that goal every day? No, I don't. But am I striving for that? Absolutely. Because I know the more fats I get in me, the more energy I'm going to have, the more my body's going to feel better.
And just know too, as you're doing that and you move forward in that, you have to, when you're down to 1 meal a day, then it's really hard. So as you close that eating window and it gets tighter and tighter, that's when it's nitty gritty about how much protein you're getting in, how much fat you're getting in. Because if you're going to be short, that's okay. I mean, it's a trade-off. When you're at 1 meal a day, it's hard to ingest a cup of oil, or fat for 1 meal a day. But once you're at 1 meal a day and you're chemically truly there, when your chemistry is ready to do that, that becomes a little bit easier because you've learned how to ingest the fat first, which is what helps keep that protein low. As long as you're not getting that ratio totally out of whack, you'll feel your body adjust. You'll feel your body start to go, oh, I don't need quite this much protein. That's how we were. We had those big jumbo ribeyes, but eating all that protein, not getting enough fat is what made us still feel hungry. So we could ingest a big old 20-ounce ribeye. Yeah. Now, when you reverse that and you get the fat in you first and you get your fat stable and feel satiated in that, I couldn't eat the 20-ounce ribeye now if I wanted to.
Yeah, she got, the last time we went out to eat, she got the 22-ouncer and she only ate half of it.
I didn't even eat half of it. I mean, it was
we brought it home for tomorrow, you know what I mean? Or whatever.
you just eat it the next day. But it just comes down to you'll learn to juggle that. And it's amazing how your body and your hunger, when that leptin and ghrelin starts working correctly, you don't need what it used to take to fill me up is nowhere near where we are. So again,
And that as your body leans out, so does your appetite, so does your, you use it more, your quality is better.
Yeah.
Instead of your quantity, you go from quantity to quality. And once you hit that quality mark, it's just the higher quality you get, the more efficient your body gets.
Okay.
any questions, anything I can help, anything else I can help you with?
No, just working on that right now. So
Keeping on the fat going. We're
Yeah.
good. All right, Sue, you have a good week. Let us know if we can help you.
thanks.
Anybody else want to jump in? You got any questions over there? Everybody good?
Nope, everybody good.
Everybody good? Jimmy, jump in. Tell us how you're doing. I haven't heard from you for a while. This is my brother that jumped in and do it. He's training for a half Ironman now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's beast mode. So go ahead and jump in.
Who-
Tell everybody what you're doing, Jimmy.
Just training a little extra hard these days. We got about 30 more days to the race. Well, 30 days in a week to the race. So the numbers are kind of a little bit jacked up, but so is my dieting, just because like I looked at my chronometer while we're sitting here. I need 312 grams of fat today because so you can link chronometer to your fitness trackers. So because I did a 30-mile bike ride today, it logs that in the chronometer, which then elevates your
I
caloric
was gonna say,
intake.
you
which
might
whenever
want to
you-
tap that out.
Yeah, that's a lot. And one of the things people were talking about so the thing that Tina and I found that makes using or utilizing chronometer easier is we actually put our food in the chronometer before we eat, and that kind of dictates what we're going to eat at that meal. So if you look and you say, wow, a 20-ounce steak, and that's going to bump my protein over, but I need more fat. So you can maybe cut that back down to 10 and you add, and I struggle with getting fats in because I'm a very anti-fat type person. But
And he gags everything he eats.
like I found like with scrambled eggs, so I'll eat, 6 to 8 scrambled eggs at a time. I'll put 4 tablespoons I found avocado oil is palatable. I'll put 4 or 5 tablespoons of avocado oil on the finished egg product, which whenever eggs come out, they're a little bit dry. They usually absorb the avocado oil. So that ramps the fat up real
Good
fast.
idea.
Same thing with hamburgers. If we have hamburger patties, then I'll put like a tablespoon on top of each one of them, which any kind of meat, whenever it first comes off the grill, it's very absorbent to outside influence. So you can add that right whenever you pull them off the grill, and it actually absorbs it into the meat. So that's getting it kind of in instantly.
Good deal.
Besides that, I mean, we're doing well. We've had some struggles. We've hit walls and plateaus along the way that we've kind of managed to work through. And right now we're at one that we think that maybe our fat intake ain't quite as high as what it needs to do, because we did slack off of using chronometer a little bit like we were. But that's something that's easily self-inflicting and self-correcting. But I got about another month before I really get back down to how we were before, because right now 1 meal a day isn't working for me. I've tried and tried and tried, but at the end of the day, I'm ready to eat somebody in half because, I've burned a lot of calories through the training process. So, sorry, that was my dog. We're still working through a lot of the issues and stuff, but every day is an adventure. So it's excellent.
Killer dogs are after you. Yeah, good learning tool in that. Jimmy, one thing you might want to do, and I know you're training, just know guys, he's training above and beyond normal, working out. When I say he's beast mode, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, he's right. He's cranking it up really high.
Jimmy doesn't do anything halfway. So he's training literally like a crazy man. So that being said, one of the options you could do is if you disconnected your fitness tracker so that it doesn't keep upping your intake needs.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Then but you're like Lance though, then you're going to drop down and shred out so much.
I got down a little bit too low about a month
Yeah.
ago. I was down into the 150s, which
Ooh.
at 6 foot is not good.
No.
Yeah. So
I mean, at 46, I thought I looked amazing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
absolutely.
But it was about 10, 15 pounds less than what I really want to be. Right now, I'm about 166, 167. That's not real optimal. Where I want to get down to about the 160 race day, because there's some science behind the seconds you lose per pound on a run. you know, so there's a reasoning. I want to be down to about the 160 on race day, but building up to that, I'm good a little bit heavier. And the day after race day, I'm quite good going back a little heavier. But there's a reason for that, and that's to try to shave some time off, because it is a lengthy process. It's an 8.5 hour adventure. So
Yep.
try to do the best we can.
I would just juggle those numbers so you're not losing. I know, and I know you know how to do the numbers good enough to know if you're dropping too low, then you got to get those fats in you. And I don't care how you get them in you, but you've got to ingest them somehow.
Yeah, avocado oil's worked out well for me personally. Tina is a butter fan. I am not so much. Just the
Remember
thought
with
of it
the
can turn
remember
it.
with the eggs, the yolk is get rid of the egg whites. You'll take away some protein. Just do the yolks on your scrambled.
Yeah, but that's a complete. So that's a little bit of a learning curve for me, because that's going up to this. I used to be obese, and to shave that obesity off, I switched it. So I ate all egg whites, no yolks. So now it's kind of I got to
Mental.
retrain the palate. Oh, mental, of course, but then the palate also, because the palate still ain't 100% on board with the egg yolk. But we're working through that. But no, I mean, over and all, we're both doing well, quite well. We have a grandchild that eats up most of our time.
Good.
So, I mean, we're content. We're doing all right.
I'm
Good
still
deal.
trying to laugh that my baby brother's a grandpa. So
Hey,
Hey,
right. Hey,
today was his
Andy.
first crawl. So,
yes,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Jimmy,
Yes, ma'am.
when is your race? What is the race and where is the race?
It's September 25th is race day. It's Augusta, Georgia, and it's a half Ironman. So it's a 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike ride, and a 13.2 mile run.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm good with the bike ride and the run. I'm all right. The swim is what has me treading water literally. I did a triathlon about a month ago, and it was a 1,500 meter swim, was just under a mile. And that was my biggest weak point, was the swim. That's where I really, really struggled.
so fat. I wonder if fat floats easier. So maybe if you
Well, if I can, if
can't
the
believe
water
you went there.
temperature, if the water temperature is low enough, we can utilize a wetsuit. That acts extra flotation, which doesn't make sense, but it does. Because I have a wetsuit. We took it out this weekend and tested it out in the lake to make sure everything worked in it. It gives you glide through the water, but also adds buoyancy just because of the way it's holding air in. So with any luck, Augusta will be below 75 degrees, and it'll be wetsuit optional, and I'll be all right. Slow and steady.
We're
Slow
praying
and
for
steady.
you.
Make sure you get your minerals in you too, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a LMNT. I do about 4 a day. And then like on the bike ride, I take 2 in the water with me. I also found, I sent you that picture of them super fats today.
Yes.
And that's it's very limited of what you can refuel while racing. That's keto. Everything is very carb and sugar induced whenever it comes to any kind of gels and stuff that's marketed. I did find that one, I tried it today. You got to really enjoy coconut, because that's exactly what it tastes like, but I'm okay with that. So it went down okay and didn't come flying out. So I think it might be a good possibility.
It doesn't come flying.
Well, top or bottom, I mean,
Exactly.
Hey, you never know. One thing too, I want to get with you. Keto Chow has a really good electrolyte and mineral thingy that helped me, that does not have stevia or anything in it like the elements do. So it's one I'll get to you.
Okay.
It really helped me well through my fast, because I normally struggle with, I can't do the LMNTs during my fast. So
the stevia don't bother me, not at all. I know
Don't
we say our genetics, but no, not at all.
hey, well,
Good deal.
take
Yeah.
the win then. Never
Oh,
mind.
yeah, I'm not mad.
Yeah, it hates me. It hates. All right, Jimmy, I love you guys.
Love
It's
you.
good. Keep training.
We'll
Yeah.
try.
All right, who wants to jump in next? Give me a win, give me a struggle, and tell me what your goals are.
Because I got to go after this.
All right, Alex, come and say hi. Alex was down in Florida with us, so it was nice to see part of our tribe.
Almost done.
Yeah, it was really nice to see you guys. And it was nice to see some people who are still on here tonight. I went kind of strict keto back on strict keto on Thursday, a week ago Thursday, when we all went out to dinner. And I guess it's been a weeker now. And you lose a lot of water weight and all that when you first do. I mean, I'm down 10 pounds, from getting back on. And I know that's a freak of nature because of water weight or whatever. but my numbers are coming back,
Good.
which is nice. I mean, I think my ketones were 1.2, 1.5, I forget what I was. My blood sugar is a little bit high, but it is what it is right now. I just ordered some more elements because I got to get that going again. And that I'm not going to ever do OMAD. I just don't want to. And it's
that's
not because of
okay.
anything. You know what? I've
No,
just
that's your choice.
no, exactly. No. But my point being is I just don't want to do it because of the fact that I like to have that bigger window.
Mhm.
I mean, and I just can't do it. But that said, the thing that really surprised me more than anything is how, and we talked about this before, Tammy, when we were down in Tampa, the difference between the different ketos there are.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
it's like it's like night and day. And that's what I found really fascinating about Florida was how different people do
Mhm.
keto. But
And just know too, Alex, let me jump in real quick. Just know, so anybody that's hearing that, there's a million different ways to do it. And if doing an easy, we call it dirty keto. I don't even mean it as a dirty keto. Some people do a very clean, healthy keto, but some people can add those fruits, those berries, those kind of things. And if your body can handle that, then that is perfect. That is okay. But most of us with mitochondrial damage, most of us with that, when you start learning to check your numbers, you will see those fruits are going to fire you up just like chocolate or candy or something like that. So there are a bunch of different ways to do keto, but that is why we are so blessed to be able to learn how to read your chemistry. That is the beauty of this course of Dr. Boz's, that you can learn how to read your chemistry and know what affects your body and what don't. So that's just the win in it, Alex. And if you don't want to do OMAD, you are perfectly fine staying at wherever that eating window needs to be for you when you're ready. And if and when you choose to, then you can always move forward in it, but you don't have
yeah.
to.
No, I've done OMAD not by choice, but just by lifestyle. I mean, I think we've all done that before.
Great.
No, but what's funny is I was in a chat in a different keto group, and the one girl was talking about keto ice cream, and it was just so funny because I'm like, how many carbs are in it? Not net, but how many carbs are in it? Oh, and I'm like, it's like 15 carbs a serving. I'm looking at that. I'm like, I couldn't even eat that I couldn't even look at it if I wanted to. And I'm not saying that as a negative. It's just not what
But that also depends on where you want to live. I mean, some people
that's true. That's
some
true.
people have a 20 carb limit per day. I mean, if you want to live in that range, you could do it. You only have 5 carbs to play with.
Well,
If
that's
you
what I
want to
mean.
play that
That's
numbers game.
yeah.
But just know people like, if I get hardly over 10 carbs at all, I start getting nervous because I will start getting jacked up. I have to keep lower. I try for 5 and usually, between 5 and 10, but that's when you learn your numbers, you're going to know what affects you and what don't. I could not ride that 15 to 20 wave.
And it's where, that's where we have agreed that we want to live is that 0 to 10 and 10 being the max. I mean,
and that's great. I don't know where I'm going to end up living. I might live in the 30 or 40 after it's all said and done, after I start getting into an area where I hit goal weight and I understand my body. But that was the one thing. And the other thing that I can't stress enough, and I know you already knew Dr. Barry. Take a breath, you two. I know we talked about Dr. Barry. I know.
I dig the snot out of him.
I know you do. I mean, I'm sorry. I know you had a heart attack and all, but I thought your heart just skipped a beat.
No, man.
Absolutely. What's not to love?
I know.
Guy.
I'm ready to. I'm all in now. But what's really frustrating and great all at the same time, after listening to a bunch of those speakers, I have a whole bunch of other books I need to want to read or listen to or whatever, which is really good. But it's like, it's a lot of time in the car, which I have, but.
Just don't get confused on your information. You got to kind of.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Also, I mean, there's a lot of it doesn't contradict, but it doesn't actually always jive.
And just know all those different ways are just different rungs on the ladder of where you want to be. I mean, We are where we're at because we choose to be this way and choose to be this strict. Not to say that any other of these steps or any of these programs are any worse or any better than anything. This is where we decide to live, and this is what we choose. Everything out there is a step, and it is a better step than what most of us have done in the past.
And
So-
ketovore will probably always be a part of our lives. I mean, that's just probably where we'll live, because that's what works with our chemistry. Not because you have to, but that's what works for our chemistry.
Yep.
And that's what I've been doing. I mean, like I said to you guys before, I haven't been doing beef butter beef butter.
Bacon and
I
egg.
couldn't even, and I'm the one person in the world that hates bacon. So I just don't.
Seriously, you cannot hate bacon.
I do. You know what? It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, Jimmy,
But-
I'm sorry. Yeah, you too.
No, I'm just saying, but my point is though, you know, I like a little greens. I need greens in my life, but you know, but I'm basically doing that. I'm maybe having one salad a day or whatever, and that's a lot of my carbs. The rest of
Just
it, is
know,
well.
Alex, when we say ketovore, that's kind of the same thing we do. We eat the meat pretty much all week. When we go out though, I have a nice Caesar salad with my steak. I don't
Yeah.
stress over it, but that's once a week.
Yep.
We do that. So when we say ketovore, that's why it gives us that little bit of leeway. When I go out, I don't stress over it. And I do like having that little bit of crunch and a little bit of salad. I'll put the fatty dressing on it and make
No
it
croutons.
no croutons, no nothing like that, but it's okay.
Oh no, yeah.
And you don't
Yeah.
have to stress over it. It's not no.
And I have to say though, you know, when we were in Orlando, I mean, I was worried about not eating the right things.
Mhm.
And, you know, yes, we went out to dinner to that really amazing place. Well, the second night, Joan brought me, you guys didn't want to go. We went to Disney Springs, the last place you think you get a keto meal for under $30, which was at Disney. And it was a huge portion of just, I forget what we ate, but it was a large portion of meat. And
But you're going to learn to do that, Alex. You're going to learn to do that, apply that same principles no matter where
Right.
you go.
Brisket.
no, but my point being is it was possible on vacation. It was
Absolutely.
possible, you know, and not that I wasn't that surprised, but I was surprised on the price. It
We
did.
ate
There was a
brisket
lot more.
with no sauce.
What was that, Joan?
Brisket with no
Brisket.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yes, with the brisket with no sauce. But yeah, no, it was great. I mean, and like I said, if you guys get a chance to get down there, it's really neat and fun. And what I don't know if it's going to happen next year or ever again, but we had total access with those speakers. And I mean, my problem was I didn't know what questions to ask at that point, you know, because it was just kind of like, it was
Well,
very,
be thinking of them, because most of those speakers we're going to be having on. We're going to start on our Sunday night lives like this. We're going to have the speakers.
I'm just saying, it was just like, oh my God, like, you know, just want to listen and soak it up.
Yep.
So anyway, I don't want to keep
Yep.
my time.
Good job, Alex. It was nice
All right,
to
I'll see you
you.
guys
I'm
later.
glad to see you. I'm glad to see you staying on track, and whatever level that is. And if that's a 6-hour eating window, good for you. That's better than you were a year ago. That's better than you were 6 months ago. So
Sure.
good for you. So stay there till you're stable and strong there and ready to change it. That's fine. Good for you, dude. I'm proud of you.
I'll see you later, guys.
All right. Who wants to jump in next?
I will.
Okay. Come on, Gail. Jump in. Tell us how you're doing. How you feeling?
Good. Look at, I'm actually moving my arm.
Woohoo.
I'm
That's
a little
win, ain't it?
scared. I have to start therapy a week from tomorrow, and it's kind of unnerving to me because its comfort zone is right here.
Yep.
I take it out of my sling 4 times a day, and that's it. I'm not allowed to move it. So, but having said that, I did get it. I couldn't fast. I was trying to fast. I was failing. My blood sugar's been high, probably because of pain and disrupted sleep. I've always had low ketones, so I've been really inquiring about, other groups about how much fat they add. I know I feel better when my ketones are up, but I'm always really low. I mean, if I hit a 1.5, I'm rocking it, but that's not me. Anyway, I did a 72 last week and it smoked it. So started it yesterday. I'm back in, doing good. My birthday's tomorrow. I'm holding out for that ribeye.
Nice.
that's why I started my fast early. But yeah, it's going a little bit better, but just trying to control pain. They won't give you pain meds, which is okay, but I'm struggling some because all I can take is Tylenol and it doesn't do a whole lot. So that's what I put a question in there. If anybody's tried turmeric, I've been reading a lot about supplementing that for inflammation and pain and stuff too. So I don't know if anybody's had any positive results with that. I'd be interested in hearing. Anyway, so my big win was getting through that 72 last week, and I'm 30 some hours in right now. So doing good.
Sweet.
Good job. We're so glad you're feeling better. And I'm promise you 4 shoulder surgeries later, when you get going on that therapy and get moving it and get past that fear in it, you're going to feel so much better. You
Yep.
really
Yeah.
will.
One thing I am doing, I got that free gift from Dr. Boz. I've never had the keto combo before.
Mhm.
So during my eating window, I am adding that in just because I've been struggling to produce ketones. And again, it might be just because of my system's trying to heal. So I've
Yep.
been adding that, or I'll do the BHB in my coffee, the chocolate. I'm trying to add a couple supplements just to help boost because I'm in healing mode right now. So
You're in healing
never
mode,
been-
and your cortisol is going to be, higher because of the pain and the medications you're putting in or whatever. So just be easy on yourself, but this is exactly the time to use the toolbox. So you're doing it perfectly.
I never used a lot of that. I've been doing this like 3.5 years, never used a lot of products, but I can tell you that I really feel a lot better when I do, because you're low on the ketones and you've got all these other things coming against you. That's when you gotta, if in your eating window, supplement so that you can boost yourself, because that's where your energy comes from.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The first time through it, I thought I would just bullhead my way through it because I'm a little headed. Thought I'd bullhead my way through with no supplements. So I refused to drink the BHB. I refused to. Oh, good Lord.
She struggled hard.
I was a hot mess that first time through the whole course, the whole thing, as I thought, no, I'm going to make my body do it. Well, my body said hell to the no. I mean, it just was not happening. The second time through, when he started with me, that's when I started supplementing with the BHB, helping that brain get kicked in. Even when my body wasn't kicked in, the supplements, as much as I hated doing it and felt like I was giving in, because I am so darn bullheaded, felt like I was giving in to my body. And I will say that is what got me over the hump and got my chemistry going in the right direction. Then again, I eliminated them. And for the most part, hardly ever used them again. I was fine. Now I would do the MCT during my eating window because I still need the brain health. I was on Oxycontin for 18 years. My brain needs all the help it can get. I was on Adderall, all of those things. And I'm still trying to heal my brain. So I will still work on the MCT, but I back off the BHB completely once my chemistry gets going. So that's why, again, I'm using it for a tool right now also, but moving forward in it, we'll tap that out as soon as my body kicks in. So good for you, Gail. Good job.
Glad to see you back.
You too, honey.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to go? Livy, you want to jump in?
Hi, it's good to see you guys. It's
Yeah,
so
it's good to see you.
And praise God, you're doing better and healing and all of that. I'm really happy for that.
Me too.
And where I've been is, I guess I haven't been on here for about 5-6 months, maybe.
Something like that.
And yeah, something like that. And I think I had finished 8 weeks of the 72-hour fast back then. And I felt, excuse me, I felt at the time that I needed a little more protein. So I kind of increased that. But what I didn't do was increase my fat, which I never really paid attention to while I was doing the whole continuum. Well, I quickly found out, well, not quickly, but over the last 3 to 4 months, I started gaining 8 of the 16 pounds that I had lost. And then I had a lot of cravings, and I had my A1C went from 5.2 to 5.5 at KetoCon. And so I thought something's not right. And so I looked at my macros a little better, and I actually decreased the amount of protein that I was eating and increased the fat, just like everyone's been talking about tonight. And I increased the fat twice the amount of protein, sometimes 3 times. And now I don't have any cravings. I've lost the 8 pounds, and actually I've lost 9. And yeah, and I checked my A1C this last Friday. I don't know the results yet, but hopefully, Dr. Boss has been saying ever since KetoCon, maybe we should check it once a month and see if the trend is going downward. So I'm hoping that mine is going to go downward again, hopefully back to 5.2, eventually less than that if I can. But now I don't, not having the cravings when I go over to other people's homes, like to babysit my grandkids, I don't even look at the pantry anymore. I used to, and, just totally get off of ketosis and all of that. And the other thing that lowering the protein and increasing the fat has also helped is I now am staying in ketosis all of the time. Like my DBRs are 20 to 30 in between my fasts.
Nice.
And I'm today started my number 8 72-hour fast.
Nice.
And feeling really good. The DBRs during the fast usually end up going down to about 6 or less than that, because the Keto Mojo, will just say hi.
Yep.
On the ketones. And so just feeling really good, and just really happy to see you guys. And
We're
thank
happy
you
you're
so
here.
much for everything. I just, I wouldn't have, I think, been able to do any of the things that I've done in the last year without you guys. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olivia. We love
You guys put in the work. We just give you the tools, and you guys put in the work. That's what it's about.
But I
Yeah.
think that's so much of it too, is once you figure out your numbers and how to do this,
Mhm.
then you can play with it and juggle it, and you can figure it out, and you will get to what your body needs you to do to push. And those 8 weeks of 72s, as much as, I know we're in a small town where people think we're crazy. I hear people, oh my God, you don't eat for days. I'm like, nope, but we're fine. And people that don't understand that chemistry, those 8 weeks in a row, I look at it and think of that as that is the deep cleaning. That is the spring cleaning that we do in the spring, in this, when our house, we've been cooped up all winter in Ohio, and you hit that spring cleaning mode. To me, that's what those 72-hour fasts do. It's like cleaning out the cobwebs out of the liver, and getting all the nooks and crannies cleaned out. That's what those 8 weeks of 72. That's just a deeper stress to that mitochondria to help get that healing going. And I think that 8 weeks is the magic. It really is. So that is why we're not saying it's for everybody, but when we get to the end of those 8 weeks, we usually take 1 week off, regroup,
Back
and
at
start right back at it, because I still have damage to heal.
Week 1 this week.
We're starting back at week 1 today. But that's exactly what we do. And that's how we navigate it. That's how we reverse that disease. That's how we're building those new cells. That is what we want to do and keep doing. It's not just to do it once and get it over with. I want to keep building new healthy cells. I need new healthy heart cells. I need new healthy liver cells. I need all the help and new healthy cells I can grow. And I just need it.
I'm getting back in my skinny jeans.
No, shut up. It's just skinny jeans. Yeah.
Love you guys.
We
Hey,
love you, Olivia.
love you
It's
guys
good to
too.
see you. Anybody else want to jump in tonight?
We are
Or
running
you're sitting there
long.
grin. I know.
Tammy,
Yes.
hi.
Hi, Sandy.
Yes, Sandy, jump in.
Hi there. Yes. And until a couple days ago, I was in ketosis and things were going really well. And then I got blindsided by some news from my doctor, and it just threw me for a tailspin. No excuse, but that's just what happened.
Mhm.
But prior to that,
Life.
yes, thank you. Prior to that, I was getting the fats in, but I still felt that that I wasn't getting enough nutrition, so I kind of upped the protein a little bit. So I'm in a quandary. I don't know how to get the nutrition in without going crazy on the protein.
Well,
And
are you meeting your protein macros?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
But I think maybe I need to have my chronometer readjusted or something. I don't know, but
You
I
don't
think
need to keep
maybe I was- go
readjusting
ahead.
that until you reach your goals and you're having a problem. If you are, if you have your weight set in there properly and things like that, then just go ahead and make sure you're hitting those. If you don't have all your protein in you or all your fats in you at the end of the day, that's okay for a day or so, but you don't want to keep doing that repetitively. You want to make sure you're hitting those macros. You want to get that protein in you. And I don't care if it's, burger, ribeye,
Chicken.
sardines, chicken, whatever, you need the nutrition. So, get those organ meats in you. If you're having a trouble eating enough, make
That's another one we forgot, liver.
the organ meats, those are the high. Jimmy's like, no, not happening. Getting those nutrient dense organ meats in you, Sandy, would be a big help. So just know that those are always in the toolbox.
And they don't take as much to get,
Yeah, you don't have
to
to eat
get
a
the
lot.
nutrients in you. You don't have to do a lot
You
of them.
don't have to eat tonnage. So if you're not able to get the quantity in that you need,
Go for
make-
quality.
yeah, go for the quality and the denseness of the nutrition. So we got to get nutrition in you, Sandy. You're the same way, like Miss Vicky. You need that nutrition. You're
Right.
not-
Yeah, I'm going too low. My weight's down too low.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
not good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, most of the butchers or the bake or whatever here in town, they have, as to say, their brisket or whatever, it comes to them already trimmed and everything. It doesn't come with the fatty ends. And the same thing even with the ribeye. They're already, they've cut the fat away.
That's what we have to do a special order. We asked them to leave it on.
Leave that fat cap
because
on our
most of the butchers will take that off to sell it because most people are not doing what we do. So you might have
Right.
to go in and request that, hey, I need a standing order or something like once a week or whenever you decide, hey, I need a ribeye cut. Find out when they are butchering because they're usually a butcher butchers only once or twice a week. So make sure that you put your order in before they butcher. That way, hey, can I get 2 ribeyes cut and not trimmed? Say untrimmed, and then they'll have all the fat on them.
And our butcher, I will say, they're wonderful about anything specific. Even when they do my pet food of my hamburger with my liver in it, we have to call it pet food, but I just give them the order ahead of time and then they work it into their cutting schedule and grinding schedule and all of that. I don't care what day it ends up done. Just call me when it's ready, kind of thing, which makes them very, very much wanting to say, how do you want it? They'll cut the ribeyes as thick as we want them. They'll leave the fat cap on them as much as we want because we're a standing order, so it's just one of those, we come in every week and pick up that meat. So,
Right.
so don't be afraid to ask.
I was gonna say, ask the question.
Yeah, I'll have to find somebody to ask because like I said, so far, the butchers that I've talked to, the stuff, I shouldn't say
They
that.
don't butcher there.
They don't butcher their meat
Gotcha.
all comes in. So I haven't found somebody that does butcher.
Okay, I understand now. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Good job, Sandy. And I will get with you tomorrow. We'll get you scheduled this week.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I know Dory, you're needing you one in. Diane,
Hi.
go ahead.
Hi.
Jump in.
All right. I found my magnesium soak near work. I've done it twice. I think I'm going to invest in myself once a week.
Nice.
Good.
Do a soak. I felt so much better. As a matter of fact, there were no cravings for several days afterwards. So I'm thinking that one of my parts of my appetite is eating for minerals. And so I think I eat enough sodium. I was just looking at our dreaded little app here and it says I only get 45% of what I should be having. So clearly I need to up all of my electrolytes. But everything else is good and I'm calm and I'm rested and my exercise, I'm a swimmer. I'm a long distance swimmer historically, an ocean swimmer.
Wow.
I love
You're-
swimming, Jimmy.
You're braver than I am.
Shark bait.
And so I can tell that things are getting better because my heart rate doesn't even hardly get up. My muscles give out before my heart does, before I get too tired to swim. And that's just been in this last few months when I've been able to start again. So I'm really pleased and I just feel very fortunate to have found Dr. Boz and you guys. I've just been really appreciative of the information that I've gotten. The other thing I did was I cut down my protein, which scares me. because as you get older, I'm 69, not quite 70. As you get older, you need the protein. I don't want to lose my muscles. Does that make sense? So I'm a little nervous, but I feel better. The ketones are better. They're like 2+ every day now.
Nice.
Since cutting down the protein, and maybe that's just as my body's getting adjusted. But the magnesium soaks in the swimming and that sort of stuff. So challenges, I've been trying to think of a challenge, but no, I think
You got it.
well, I think this has helped my brain metabolism enough that I'm not depressed, I'm not anxious, I'm not angry. I can be patient. So, and this time of year is the usual time when I would start taking my winter depression meds. I don't feel a dang thing coming on again this year. See, I forgot last year. Totally
That's awesome.
forgot to take my depression meds. So I'm watching, but
That's gonna help. It's gonna help
but
your
I'll let you
sleep
know
too.
if anything happens with that. But yeah, that's a real relief because I recognize my winter depression from the time I was about 7. So I've had it my whole life, which says to me, I've had subpar brain metabolism my whole life. That's a frightening thing. Oh gosh.
I'm with you.
So
Isn't it sad when we realize that?
so it's fun to be able to like try to fix it, you know. And yes, I've tried to infect other people. So since the 2 crazy ketos, I guess, are doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for September, I've got 2 other people at work who are coming to it with me. So yeah.
Good. Well,
So I'll
beef,
do
bacon, and
really
butter.
good.
We always tease and say, you know, it's a great challenge and it's fun, but that's our normal.
That's the
It's
way
not
we
a
eat.
challenge.
It's not a
Yeah.
challenge.
Beef, bacon, butter, eggs. What more in life does anybody need?
Throw it
I
on the
mean,
plate.
we're happy. Only
Yeah.
other thing I throw out there, Diane, is for your muscle to make sure you're not losing muscle. Make sure you're adding some resistance training if you can.
Oh yeah.
You know, that'd be
yeah.
the only other thing. If you're hitting those proteins and those fats, then the only thing I would say is add some resistance training in it to not lose the muscle mass. And go for you. Good job, girl.
Thanks.
Nice work. Anybody else want to jump in? Dora, you want to jump in or are you just hanging out?
She's good.
Okay.
And Jill.
Jill, there you are.
You
Jill,
good?
you good?
All right, cool.
All right.
We are a little bit long tonight.
All right, we're
but
running long. Anybody need anything this week? Text me what you guys need. Don't be afraid to read. Get my schedule made. I'll be texting, setting up scheduling. I will get invoicing out. Anybody wanting in. Biggest thing with the class, you got to figure out if you want 6 consults with it or 12 consults. Do you want to consult every week or every other week? It's the biggest thing everybody needs to figure out. And we will get everybody on the schedule. Website thing still isn't able to go through yet because I haven't been able to get my website guys on vacation this week. So we'll get working on that. But right now it's going to still be doing it manual, me showing up with you to teach you the class, share the stuff with you. We're going to be doing coachings one-on-one, things like that, but we're going to get there. So watch the page. As I get things moving again, we'll do that. I'll reach out. And if you guys need anything, you reach out to us. But we love you. We appreciate you. We are going to be sharing this over on our YouTube channel. So that's where we'll be sharing any of that. So anybody that can send, you need to send anybody, it should be over on YouTube. So Journey to Keto with Tammy, and you'll be able to repeat and watch. So anybody can send it to, help us out. Thank you guys. We love you all. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jimmy. Love you.